Hey everyone, and welcome back to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, founder and CEO over at academia.edu. And if you're new here, this is the show where we go deep into recent academic research, dissect the big questions, and see what these papers might mean for you out there, whether you're driving to work, out for a walk, or just, nerding out on the latest ideas like I do. Today I'm going to talk neutrally, so that means not endorsing, about an intriguing paper by RJ Starr. And the topic, wow. It's something you'll probably recognize in yourself and everyone around you. The paper is called the Salience Distortion Model, a psychological framework for Starr is digging into why do people, all of us, continue to see the world in distorted ways, even when tons of accurate information is available? Why do, say, two people look at the same event like a protest or a debate or even something as innocuous as a facial expression and walk away with completely different interpretations? And why do we stick to those interpretations even after being shown the facts? Big question, and honestly, it's not just academic. This affects everything: relationships, politics, therapy, even what we believe about ourselves. Starr is saying, hey, these distortions are not just simple errors of logic or lapses in reasoning. They might actually be, get this, built-in adaptations. Like your brain is designed to prioritize what's emotionally relevant or meaningful for you, even over what's objectively accurate. Wild, right? Okay, so let me try and break down the big argument. The Salience Distortion Model, let's call it SDM, that's easier, proposes that our perception is filtered through emotional or moral salience. So what does salience mean? It's just about what grabs your attention, what feels important, what kind of jumps out at you, especially if it's linked to emotions, your identity, or your values. The model lays out a four-stage process: input filtering, perceptual amplification, interpretive distortion, and belief anchoring. It's a mouthful, but here's how it plays out in real life. First stage, input filtering. Our brains do this rapid, often unconscious scan for what's relevant or emotionally charged as soon as something happens. That relevant stuff gets tagged for special attention. Like, if you're anxious about being rejected, you'll spot the tiniest hint of disapproval in someone's facial expression. Next, perceptual amplification. Our brains spotlight this salient information, making it seem more vivid, more memorable. It basically shouts, "This is important," in your mind, even if it's actually neutral. The third stage is interpretive distortion. That's salient emotional input. You interpret it in a way that fits your current mood, your moral stance, or your identity. So two people see the same scene, but they walk away with completely different interpretations, even if there's no factual disagreement. And finally, belief anchoring. Once something has gotten this emotional boost, it's way harder to shake, even if you later see info that contradicts it, because your brain has built a mini fortress around it. And Starr argues this all happens before you even start reasoning about something. So it's not so much that you're rationalizing a wrong belief, it's more that the way you first perceived the situation was already emotionally loaded. Motivated reasoning? Yes, but the motivation is happening at the perception level, not the conclusion level. Okay, why does this matter to you? Well, think about your own life. Ever had an argument where a friend just couldn't see your point even though it seemed so clear to you? Or maybe you saw a news story about a controversial issue and thought, how can people possibly believe X or Y? This model says it's not stupidity, it's not a lack of information, it's this built-in salience filter at work. And that's kind of liberating and also kind of unsettling, because it suggests, hey, maybe you're doing it too. In therapy, this model helps explain why, say, people with anxiety or trauma histories see threat everywhere, despite knowing intellectually that things are okay. The problem isn't just with their beliefs, it's in the way their emotional brains are weighting certain cues from the get-go. One little digression, I once read a study about how airline pilots rely on cocktail napkin checklists when all the fancy instruments fail. Totally random, but it made me wonder, maybe sometimes our brains are using cocktail napkin cues, the fast, emotional ones, instead of the precise, technical ones, because Well, it's just how we're wired, you know. Maybe some shortcuts really are just built in, and we're left cleaning up the mess afterward. Anyway, back to the story. So, wrapping it up, the Salience Distortion Model, as Starr describes it, challenges us to see cognitive distortion as not simply an error to fix, but an adaptation to our emotional and social world. Our brains are optimizing for what feels important, not necessarily for what's objectively true. Is that good? Is that bad? The paper doesn't really say. And remember, I'm here to present the research, not endorse it. Your job is to chew on it, debate it, see if it fits your own experience. Bottom line, what does this mean for you? Maybe next time you find yourself at odds with someone, or struggling to shake a stubborn belief about yourself or the world, you'll wonder, am I letting emotional salience do the driving, or can I recognize those filters, maybe even recalibrate them a little bit? Academic research isn't the final word, but it sure gives us new lenses to see ourselves by. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me on In Depth with Academia. If you've got thoughts or want to read more, check out RJ Starr's paper or drop your comments or questions. Until next time, keep your mind open, and remember, research is just one piece of the puzzle. Safe travels, folks. Safe.